Suggested by a user in the comments section, today we're going to take a look back at the Rugrats Season 3 episode, The Baby Vanishes. We start this iconic episode with Angelica playing at her mother's vanity. She's putting on every single piece of makeup, cream, whatever she can find really. Drew comes in and Angelica asks if Drew doesn't love her anymore when he starts to yell at her for playing with Charlotte's expensive makeup. Drew, of course, immediately gives in to his spoiled daughter when she gives him those big old puppy dog eyes. He tells her of course he still loves her, but she shouldn't be playing with Charlotte's very expensive vanishing cream. Angelica asks what vanishing cream is, and Drew tells her that Charlotte uses it to hide things on her face like unsightly wrinkles and age spots. Ouch. Mind you, Charlotte's only like 30-some years old. Chill, Drew. The two go to Stu and Dee Dee's house for game night, bringing some chocolate pie for everyone, and Drew makes sure to mention that he brought some humble pie for Stu specifically, and I just want to say that I love how well they portray these two older siblings. Before they begin, Dee Dee and Chaz want to take a quiz that they found in a magazine that tells parents if their child is a spoiled brat. Drew chuckles and says,
"Oh boy, you think no one would need a quiz for that."
Angelica goes into the living room where Tommy and Chucky are playing, and Angelica tips them off that there might be some chocolate pie outside of their playpen. She tells them about her new discovery of vanishing cream. The babies ask what that is, and Angelica explains that it makes them invisible, kind of like the wind, because they never see it do anything. Tommy decides that he is ready to blow over houses so he can be just like the wind to a very exhausted Angelica. Back to the quiz, Dee Dee and Stu answer yes to one of the questions, and Dee Dee worries that they're spoiling Tommy. Chaz says that it's fine because he answered for himself and tells her not to worry. They ask Drew how many he marked, and Drew ended up getting 49 and a half. Yikes. I'm pretty sure there was only like 50 questions. Drew confesses that his daughter is a spoiled brat and everyone knows it. He lists the things that he's done to create this spoiled lifestyle for his daughter. They turn to Lipschitz and realize,
according to Lipschitz, spoiled children crave attention for their negative behavior.
That's right. All you have to do is stop reinforcing it. Then the child will rechannel his or her energy into more positive modes of expression.
Drew is extremely confused because what does that even mean? And Stu puts things into simpler layman's terms.
What does that mean?
Just ignore her.
Oh.
The babies get a hold of some of Dee Dee's vanishing cream, and Angelica slathers some on Chucky's nose and on top of Tommy's head. She acts like she can't see them, and the babies are satisfied that they're actually invisible. They go off to get the chocolate pie from the kitchen. The adults are busy reading the rules of their game, which seems extremely complicated.
Player number 1 can only move counterclockwise when all other players are frozen behind the penalty line.
These are the most complicated rules I ever heard.
Like, what does that even mean? The babies successfully get their sweet treat and start chowing down on that pie. Angelica ends up making the connection that the cream makes it to where you're invisible to grown-ups specifically. She tells the babies to cover her in it, and we officially have the newest member of the Blue Man group. Doesn't she look great? She makes her way into the kitchen, and the grown-ups notice her immediately. Since they're trying to make her less spoiled and teach her a lesson, they all try to ignore her the best that they can. This causes Angelica to think that she really is invisible to the grown-ups because of the cream. She begins running around, taking pieces of the game and Dee Dee's glasses. She shoves them onto Stu's face when Dee Dee questions where they possibly could have gone. She takes Stu's juice and pours it on his lap, but Dee Dee continues to ignore her, telling Stu that she sees that he's finished the whole glass. Angelica grabs a small stepladder from somewhere and dumps Spike's wet, dripping dog food on Drew's head and cuts off half of his tie. She brags about how she's invisible while running around the table and confesses to throwing out some of Drew's very important office papers out of the car window, all because he just made her eat some broccoli. Yikes. Dee Dee announces that everyone else gets to have cookies since she believes that a little girl named Angelica must have taken the pie earlier. Angelica is standing there, and she's starting to crack. She asks Dee Dee if she can get a cookie too, and Dee Dee hits her with,
I thought I heard a little voice, but I guess it was just the wind.
ouch, but deserved. Angelica begins to lament to her friends about how Tommy will be the only one who will get all of the attention now, and how sorry she was and how she loves her dad. Drew, of course, overhears and stops ignoring her, telling her that he can see that she's learned her lesson and she's suffered enough. She says that she sure has, and he immediately caves once more, and they go out to get some ice cream and toys. Like I said in my last Rugrats video, there are definitely some great lessons for both kids and adults in this episode. Angelica-centered episodes seem to have that as a running theme. Adults can see the consequences of giving in to their child's every desire all the time. Kids, at least in the 90s and 2000s, have probably been in Angelica's shoes of pushing the limits so far that you get ignored for a bit in hopes that you learn your lesson about not pushing those limits and listening a little better. What do you think of this episode? Do you feel worse for Angelica or for Drew? I hate that Drew lost all of those expensive papers because it was the Olsen account and it was a multi-million-dollar account supposedly, but it was his own undoing. That said, Angelica definitely should not have done it just because of the broccoli. That's... wow.